Hey guys, Matt here with Carolina Coops, and today we are in Las Vegas, Nevada. We just finished up this beautiful custom chicken coop. It's getting late in the day, the sun's going down, we're still picking up in the back, and also a quick disclaimer for all you YouTube chicken police officers out there, we have not put the apron on yet. I wanted to get the video done before the sun went down, so there will be an apron that goes around the outside to keep animals from digging underneath. Anyways, so the overall footprint of this coop is 26 foot long, it's 8 foot wide, and the hen house is 8 foot by 8 foot. There's a lot of very pronounced big customizations on this coop, so hopefully I don't forget any of them. But one of the first things is obviously we have a very modern look with a lot of straight lines. So actually, if you go back a little bit, you'll notice we have what's called a shed roof, not a gabled roof, where you'll see that on our Carolina or American coops. It's just a shed roof, just a flat roof, all right? So when I say flat, doesn't mean it's dead flat. There is a pitch to it. You got to have, even in Las Vegas, I think it rains about once a year, a little bit of water that will shed off the back. So there's 2 flat roofs. Speaking of the roof, it's charcoal gray. You don't really see the color, but we custom bent all the trim work, all the rake edge and the flashing to give it a real nice clean look. We're on a construction site right now, so you'll notice it's kind of very dirty and dusty. Camera lady, if you want to pan over to your left, you'll see they have a guest house slash art studio that they're going to be putting in here soon, and a lot of this coop is designed based on that. And believe it or not, it was supposed to be done, but it's not done. But either way, so that's where the inspiration, if you will, came from, is to have a real nice modern look. Now, another thing I wanted to point out is, obviously, you probably hear me do it all the time, is we do custom paint jobs. This is one of those situations where when we were painting in the shop, we all were like, are these guys crazy? You know, what's going on with this oddball black and blue mixture? Now looking at it, I hope you guys all agree, we think it looks awesome. So the point is, this custom paint job, one of the things I can't stress enough, all the run and trim is black, and it shows everything. We just got done doing all the touch-up paint, trying to make it look as nice as possible. It's very difficult, especially it's a chicken coop. So we got all black, run, trim, fascia rake boards, and blue clapboard. All right, so you got all kinds of different...
Shiplap.
Sorry, very tired right now. Shiplap, thank you. That's shiplap board, and I'll show you that profile. But basically, we got those lines going laterally, and it's all on one same plane, and it overlaps a certain way, which gives it the shiplap. We also got a large door and 2 sconce lights that are wired up on each side of the door. Hopefully we'll get a chance to come back later tonight. We're going to do all the test electrical work, test all the lights, get some good pictures, and hopefully they're coming up right now as we're talking about it. So let's walk inside. So again, we got a large door. We make sure we lined all the shiplap lines together so it's nice and even. We found out at the last minute we got a light over here, so we had to put this chain in, make sure we don't crush the light. We got our cable latch right here to let ourselves out. Now this is going to be a little difficult. Actually, if you want to get a shot right here, you'll see the shiplap. And that's all it is. It can go horizontal or go vertical, but that's the profile. That's the end of the board. That's the shiplap profile. Okay? So now we come in here, and this is really another shed slash hen house combo. You've seen this in some other videos. This particular customer absolutely loved, like the one we did in Boston. I think we just did one recently in Rhode Island. Take a look at this. We got these large pull-out drawers, and Nan, you went and just bought these. They're all empty right now. The lid seals nice and tight. We got a couple small cans that they're going to use probably for some like scratch, maybe oyster shell. Got some bagged feed left over from the trip. Over here, hopefully you can see this, 2 large 44-pound bales of hemp. There are 2 leftover bales, and we're going to put a couple inside the hen house here in a minute. And then if we come over here, just another drawer, pull that right out, just some more cans, probably for feed and whatnot. So either way, it's just a real easy way to take advantage of all that space that's underneath the hen house for storage. Now, we open up these doors. We have these beautiful pocket doors. You can open up all the way. You have 2 sides to access the hen house. So this is from the inside, and over there you see the 2 back hen house doors, very common, you see all the time on our Carolina Coop. This is the back side to the electrical. Shut this, beautiful. Notice all the screen, predator proof, the bands, you know, that was a very distinctive look that they wanted to have. Those, you know, we've been calling them bands, those bars that are on the outside were screened off, so we got tons of ventilation. In here, ran all the conduit for the electric. We got an outlet here, and this one just happens to be right now the transformer for the soffit lighting's plugged in right now. We got an outlet inside the hen house and 2 outside the run where this continues to. We've got a switch right here. This is going to be on the 3-way actually, so this is going to turn on and off the sconce lights outside, and in the guest house next door they're going to tie in the other 3-way switch so they can turn on the sconce lights. That was a lot of fun. Anyways, anything else in here?
I have to say the electrical work is beautiful in here.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Nice and neat.
Thank you.
Just straight.
All in, you know, PVC conduit. Try to do the best I can. It's not easy running electric inside a chicken coop for something that's designed actually for commercial buildings. But I think it looks good. Appreciate you pointing that out.
Looks great.
You're probably wondering what this is. We have a 4-nipple water bar on the inside. They wanted to wait till the coop was in place. They're going to actually run a water line buried up into the water bar. I just got done testing it with a hose just to make sure there's no leaks, and so we unhooked that for right now. And actually, speaking of that, when I was hooking up the hose, something I wanted to mention that a lot of people may not consider is if you're going to put a pressure regulator on a water bar and you're just using your garden hose, you don't want to leave that out into the sun. A lot of times people think, well, what's the big deal? When that sun is heating up that garden hose, you're actually pressurizing the water. And if there ever was a water break in your house, you can actually siphon that hot water, and that water that potentially could be contaminated from anything from being outside the garden hose, in this case, the chicken water, going into your main house. So just something I wanted to point out. A lot of times you'll see hoses that have that anti-siphon. You may not know what it is, but that's what that's there for. So I never, ever recommend, if you're going to run a line to your water bar and keep it on a regulator, try to bury it so it's not getting heated up by the sun. Oh, and right here we got the other side of the ChickenGuard, which is closed right now. We just put the chickens inside, so we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a minute. Right here is just a regular egg hutch. Again, went with the same color. The chickens are in there now. We just put them in there. We'll talk a little more about that too when we get inside the run. Put the nesting material in there. They're going to be anxious to get in there and lay some eggs. But this is our everyday egg hutch that we always build. The only difference is we added the shiplap siding. Also, this is really all the same, except for, yes, Nan, you're right. So we had to work with a designer and the homeowners on this coop, and for whatever reason, whatever, this is what they wanted, or not want, they didn't want the screen doors. They did not like the look of them. Again, they were very adamant on a certain look, so there's no henhouse screen doors, which may not be a bad thing. We are in Vegas. It's November right now, so we are getting a lot of direct sun, but it's not that warm. Probably summertime, it's going to be more not pointing at it. But either way, other than that, everything else is the same. Now, we are up on a base, so I'm about 6 inches lower than you normally would be. And you know what I wanted to do real quick is I'm going to put in some hemp, right? We're putting in hemp?
Yep.
Okay, so this is the industrial hemp. We love this stuff. This is the best stuff out there. Now, these are 44-pound bales. The cheaper bales you'll see come in 30 or smaller. Try to get a close look at that. Look how nice and clean that is. This stuff is coming in from France. This is the good stuff. If you find some cheaper stuff out there that's dirtier, darker in color, it's not getting processed as well because it's coming in most likely from China. I'm not saying all of it is, but that's something we found out the hard way.
This is the bottom of the bale. There's not even any dust to speak of down there.
Right. Yeah, that's the idea, is it should be low dust. If you have a lot of dust in industrial hemp, it's because it's not being processed as well as it should, so that might be why it's cheaper. Either way, so these are 44-pound bales, and the question we get a lot is, how many bales do we need inside the hen house? So this one is 4 by 8, and we're just gonna see what it looks like. So we're gonna take this, I'm gonna pop it open. I'm gonna go ahead and close this, just so we don't make a bigger mess. This stuff is the best bedding for chickens. A lot of horse people love it, or if you are a horse person and you're watching this, a lot of people love the hemp because it lasts a lot longer than pine shavings. And say you have animals like horses or dogs with allergies, This is one of the best solutions for bedding or litter. So there's one 44-pound bale.
Notice the lack of dust when you empty out that bag.
I was just going to say, that is incredible. You know, and who knows how much dust is in from the construction of the coop, but that's a great point, is it's very low in dust.
There's more dust coming up off the ground at you than...
That, yeah, that's me running around. I just noticed that. Look at this. You could definitely add a second bale. That covered really well.
Now this is 12 inches deep. Or not,
the high density is 12 inches deep.
The high density is 12 inches deep.
And that litter is probably about 4 inches, which is a great start. So that's what it looks like on a 4x8.
And it's okay to cover the little ladder
Yep.
like that?
Yep, absolutely. And again, when it comes to the deep litter system, if you're not familiar with it, watch some of our other videos. Ingrid, this is a great time to maybe bring in that link. And we're going to do another video soon. Deep litter system is absolutely awesome. So I guess the other thing I want to point out, again, that's me kicking up dust. If you guys see that, the sun's going down. Look at all the headroom. And you know, and they could add even more roost bars. There's so much headroom in here if they wanted to. You know, one thing I'm not a fan of is overloading a hen house. Chicken to coop ratio, very, very important. But
there's another receptacle up there also.
Yep. And we use dust covers on all of them.
Super nice and neat.
Lots of ventilation.
2 8-foot roosting bars in there.
Yep, so that'd be 16 chickens at the 1 foot rule. I know that's a question that we get a lot. Well, how many chickens? I do forget to mention that because I'm so used to this. When I explain it's 8 foot long in this case, or this hen house is 8x8. Those are 2 8-foot roost bars. 1 foot rule, 16 chickens. Industry standard 8 inches, so you can do the math. Maybe we'll do that here in a little bit. I'm horrible without a calculator. But here's the other side of the run. Now, the other thing I noticed, I was talking to the client earlier, it's not horrible, but he may want to think about just getting some like porch shades that he can drop down. About when the sun's shining in, this time of year it's not so bad, but if it was summer and it's still hot and that sun's coming in, as long as those shades aren't blocking the ventilation, the air coming through, but it'll provide some shade in there, especially if they cannot free range. You got to make sure they have an area to get in the shade, and no different than being able to get into the sun. You know, let them decide what they want, what's gonna be best for them. Oh, the other thing I wanted to point out too is, again, we got to custom make our own flashing here, and the water will actually come out from the roof right here. So we're not trapping it up there in case you're wondering. So let's walk around this way. And we've been in and out. We're trying to keep the door, again, black just shows everything, but here's what we call our French doors. And table latch right here, just to show you, there's a barrel bolt here, a barrel bolt here. That way it's just easier if you have a big wheelbarrow, just want to have full, larger access for whatever reason.
Awesome.
So if you've been watching some of the videos when we got here and started, you know, prep area wasn't done. They did end up coming in, doing the base, and we're really thankful for that. Saved us from having to do it. But also we asked them to bring in what they could find as, I guess, topsoil. So I know there's already some comments saying, well, that's not the best ground for chickens originally. Yeah, I would agree. They've added some nice, loose, organic topsoil, a mixture of sand and some organic fertilizer, or not fertilizer, but I wish I could remember exactly what it was, but it's the best they can find. Now also, they are going to end up, I shouldn't say free ranging, but when their next big step is they're going to put in a big pen. They're going to fence that off so the chickens will be able to go out there and have even more room. It's going to be all grass, and there's going to be a lot of trees that they're planting to provide them shade. So what you see right now, I know a lot of people are thinking, well, it's not really ideal. They will be able to get out and again have that pen area. Here's the other side of the ChickenGuard. We have other videos about that. Oh, and the other thing too is ChickenGuard just came out with a self-locking door. We haven't had a chance to try it yet, but we're gonna get out there, try it out with some customers, see how it goes. But this one we're very, very familiar with. We like it a lot. Keep in mind, anytime you have a guillotine style door that's automatic, make sure that drops down at least an inch past this bottom bar. And one thing that could stop that is if this litter kept building up and building up, and that can only stop right there, that could potentially be a problem. Raccoons can get under there and reach in. So make sure that door always drops down an inch past that bottom board. So we tested out the water bar. The clients are leaving for a week, so they didn't want to, and plus they haven't hard lined it yet for the dedicated water line. So we're going to leave that as is. They have a regular galvanized gravity water right here for the chickens, hanging the feeder right here. And here's something too, we have this on our coop, we like it a lot. There's nothing worse than when the chickens roost on this, which they shouldn't want to. It's one of the reasons we want to hang it, but they still can. And this lid here makes it nice and easy. Keep them from perching on it. Now what I do, when I go to put feed in there, I just hook it up to the shepherd's hook like that. I can drop, we got a big, I don't know, was it like a 2-pound scoop, drop all the pellets in there, and then drop that back down. Ramp to get up into the chicken door. 2 more outlets, 1/2-inch hardware cloth, a lot of other basic stuff that we always do. Notice how different, again, the shed roof, it's flat going right across. So one of the things that is, I wanted to point out as well is, Kristen, our chicken expert, she raised these chickens in Raleigh, North Carolina since they were babies. Started back in, geez, I forget now.
February or March.
Something like that, and she's been raising them, and then 2 of my guys went and picked them up before they headed out here. So they drove from New York to Raleigh, picked them up, kept them alive in the back seat, food and water. They made it out here, and they're doing great. And they're very happy. Got a lot of different breeds. Oh, look at this. We got a landscaper coming in with some sod. Yeah. What great timing. You don't mind being on video, do you?
Yeah, no problem.
All right, great. Is that for the chickens?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Let's bring that in here. So just to give them something a little bit more natural, some grass. I know it's probably won't last long, but you know, you always want to eliminate boredom. That's one of the most important things about being in a run before they get a chance of free range. They're gonna love to peck at it. Chickens love greens, table scraps. They've been getting a lot of our table scraps. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you really enjoyed it. Please leave your questions, comments down below. You can always give us a call anytime, 919-794-3989. Check us out at carolinacoops.com. Check us out at Facebook, YouTube. Also, all our YouTube watchers, subscribers, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time. I love when we get all the calls that come in. They're like, Matt, we just love your videos. Great job. We do so much work trying to get these videos done. You won't believe what just took place even before here. Trying to make sure we get a video in. We're still technically not done. Again, the apron's got to go in. My guys were running 100 miles an hour to make this all happen, and I can't thank them enough for that. So, but if you haven't already, please subscribe. That means a lot to us. Also, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. But again, carolinacoops.com. Thanks for watching.